All right. Lions in full pads today. They're hitting.
Yeah, it's about time. Here we go.
And they didn't hit yesterday or up until now because now they have pads. They didn't before. But something happened yesterday where Dan Campbell had to do something. And, John, I ask you the question. Is it something or nothing?
So for 2 days, they had, let's just say, a scrappy practice. Mm-hmm. And there were some fights where they ended practice early on both days. And so is it something or is it nothing? Is it, and I'm curious to our listeners, nobody's been there yet. So everything opens up next week and we'll get a chance to see them in person and there'll be some padded practices. These things generally are more padded practice influenced. The problem that you run into sometimes, and it's interesting that, was it 2 days ago they ended it early, or maybe it was yesterday they ended it early because it was Brian Branch and Amon-Ra St. Brown that kept going at it. Mm-hmm. You got two guys there that are veteran players, and I know Brian Branch is going into his third year, but he's now a veteran player. When you have vets doing it, that becomes a little bit more concerning. And maybe it's just, hey, we got to get to a full padded practice. You love the intensity. You don't want anybody to take a swing at a player. It's always been kind of one of the dumb things about football players is we take a swing at somebody and we hit their helmet, break a hand, and now all of a sudden, hey, Brian Branch has to play with the club. Or Amon-Ra St. Brown can't play at all because you can't play wide receiver with the broken hand. That's where you don't want to see it from vets. A lot of times it's the younger players because they don't necessarily know yet how to practice. And if it's a defensive lineman and he's going way too hard for I call it, shorts and skirts, when you don't have, pads on, they're going too hard. A vet says, hold on a second here, little fella. And that's when a scrap happens. It usually involves a younger player. And those guys just have to learn how to practice. It becomes a little more concerning when it's repeated that it's your veteran players. Now, I have no problem with fights at practice. It's going to happen. It's okay. But if it happens repeatedly, now all of a sudden you risk injury, you're not getting anything done. And if you have to end it early because fights keep happening, now all of a sudden you've missed out on, the last 20 minutes of practice? You can't miss practice time. So right now I'm going to say it's nothing because everybody was waiting to get the pads on. They're just getting there a little bit early. But keep an eye on it because you can't keep doing this and ending periods early or ending practice early.
Did you ever get into a skirmish?
All the time.
Who'd you get? Who's your best fight with?
Clinton
Portis doesn't count.
He was, it's really hard to get in a fight with the guy on the same side of the ball. Would have loved to have. No, it's always a scrap with the defensive guys. So me and Dana Stubblefield, we would go at it all the time. And there would be times, too, where they would stop practice, and we would even get into it when it was just summer conditioning. The worst penalty we ever had was Dan Riley was our strength and conditioning coach. We would have to bear crawl the length of the field, defensive line on one side, offensive line on the other, and we would pass each other at the 50-yard line. Well, I was mad because we were doing this, so when we passed each other at around the 50-yard line, we started scrapping again. And so it was just kind of one of those things that it compounded on itself. But during practice, it happens all the time, and it gets blown up because if fans are there, they see it, and hey, my offensive line's coming to my defense, their defensive line's coming to their defense. There's a big pile, and then all of a sudden everybody's separated. But you have to be able, that next rep, you can't carry what just happened in that fight to the next rep. You got to move on.
Which usually happens. Have you ever been in a situation or heard of anywhere a skirmish in practice, lingered on, into the season, locker room problems because of it, or just...
No, when you go back to the locker room, all right, you're back in air conditioning, and things seem to be a little bit more sensible when you're not in the heat. And that could have been part of the issue yesterday. It was hot. And even if it was early in the morning, it's those things. Heat-induced anger is a real thing. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I still have it now. You get hot, you get grumpy, and it's something that normally wouldn't set you off.
People say road rage is more when it's hot outside too.
Oh, sure. Heat-induced anger is. I'm no scientist, and I'm not going to coin anything here, but it's a real thing.
We have some ticket texts on the Tigers. Stoney's tombstone will read, "He was good, not great." Okay.
Oh, wow.
That's all right.
Okay.
That's not an insult. I'm not great. Either go all in or all out and trade Torres, trade Skubal if this team's not ready to get something for the guys that will walk.
Stoney, quickly, going back to that text.
Yeah.
That is a quote that you say quite often.
I understand that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've been saying it this week. I've said it a lot. Tired of hearing about how the Dodgers and Yankees have had losing streaks this season. Difference is they have better lineups than the Tigers. True. Torque has a lot of inge in him. Home runs when they're up a ton or down a ton. Not a lot of clutch. That's
early on in the season, he had some doubles that were clutch, maybe not home runs.
Right.
Yeah.
And I know it's because we watch our team more than we watch other teams, but I always feel that the Tigers have to lead the league in solo home runs. But I'm sure the probability of hitting a home run is greater when there's nobody on base anyway. So that's why it just appears that way. And I'm sure every team has the same thing. But you sit there, Torque was an example last night. Jones yesterday. Oh, God, I wish they would do it when guys are on base. Can't melt down if you always overachieved as they did last season and the first half this year. You get what you pay, and it really finally has set in. No mystery to us all. That's Brian in Ann Arbor. Yeah, that's why some people believe that they were duped, because they completely bought in to this team being great.
Yeah, I mean, I would say a new baseball fan, but if you were a fan and you saw, okay, well, their longest losing streak is 3 games, and now you're taking that context, not the context of looking at a season historically for multiple teams over multiple years of 162, you're going to have downturns like this. And teams, can they fall apart? Sure. It's generally due to injury and a lack of players being able to go in there. And I'm not going to sit here and say Kerry Carpenter is that guy. Having him back in the lineup will be a positive. He's not the savior that some people want him to be, but over the course of 162, you're going to have tough stretches like this. But there needs to be an end to it.
248-539-9797.